Hey, it's Jen Maleka, the Holistic Health Boss, your functional diagnostic health coach and personal training expert. And this week I'm talking to you guys about the toxic body burden. And this is becoming an increasing, concern and epidemic amongst our society. So let me just kind of play this out for you. We're going to talk about what do we do now that we know that we have so much toxic exposure. So the Environmental Working Group, also known as EWG, they're a nonprofit group. They actually released a report earlier this year in June, finding that there are over 420 toxic chemicals or elements found in the human body across all different populations. Now, let me repeat that again. That's 420 toxic chemicals or elements that have been found in the human body, in our society now, across all different populations. It doesn't really matter so much if you live in North America or in Europe or these other places. This is all across different populations. And that's a scary statistic because these toxins and chemicals are known to, or are likely known to, cause cancer. Now, cancer is probably the worst of what these toxins and chemicals can do, but we have to ask the question of, what are these toxins and chemicals doing in our body on a day-to-day basis? How are they affecting us? So one of the ways that they affect us, or what research has shown, is that the higher increase, or even just being exposed in general to toxins and chemicals in our environment, has shown to increase BMI in children specifically, leading to obesity, and in research rats. Also, these chemicals are called, there's a classification of them called obesogens. And these ones specifically disrupt the endocrine function, or the endocrine system. And in our endocrine system, that's where our thyroid is, our adrenal glands, our pituitary, all of these glands and organs that are in charge of metabolism for us. They're in charge of growth and development, our sexual function. They're in charge of our sleep cycles, reproduction, and so many other important functions for us. And then these toxins also cause inflammation, and inflammation is the root of most diseases. Inflammation is what leads to autoimmune disorders. It's what leads to suppressing our immune system, so that we are more susceptible to getting sick, like colds and flus and allergies and overall those types of things. So exposure to chemicals also causes cells that would normally be converted into bones and tissues to actually be converted straight into fat. So not only are toxins making us fat, but they're also creating issues like osteoporosis, as well as they're making us be more biased towards carb metabolism. So it's becoming a really big problem. We're starting to hear more and more about it. And there's these toxins are being released by the hundreds of thousands every day, week, month, and year as time goes by, as we evolve as a society. So you might be asking the question, well, great, are we completely doomed as a society to just being toxic? And no, we're not. There's actually a lot of things that you can do to offset the damage of exposure to toxic chemicals like this. However, what I really want to talk about today is how a lot of these programs out there that claim to be detoxifying and cleansing, how they're really missing the mark, and they're not giving you a lot of what it is that you need to actually get these toxins out of your system. So let's talk about a couple of the top myths that I see all the time. So the number one myth is that juice cleansing is the best way to detoxify. And this one just drives me absolutely bananas because I love juicing. Don't get me wrong, I buy my green juice a couple times a week and I absolutely adore it. However, in order for our body to actually push toxins out of our system, we have to be eating protein. There's two different phases of the detoxification process that happens, and in one of those phases you actually have to have protein bonds or particles of proteins in order to move the toxins through that detoxification phase and through those systems in order to be excreted out of the body. So juicing alone is not going to do it. Myth number two is that diet and exercise are enough. And I hear this all the time from clients, especially those who have tried every single diet and exercise, and then they get frustrated and they don't know why. And that's because they've been misled to believe that diet and exercise is the key to health and the key to weight loss. And there's actually more pieces of the puzzle than that. So diet and exercise can certainly help you get get toxins out of your body. But ultimately, the biggest key player in helping you excrete hormones is your liver. Your liver is what is actually in charge of getting all toxins and chemicals out of your body, pushes them out. And so if your liver is sluggish in any kind of way, by maybe the burden of all the toxins and chemicals that we're seeing, or if you take over-the-counter prescription medications, or you just have a liver that's been working really hard for a long time, it's gotten sluggish, it can't actually do its job. So we have to support the liver more in order to get these toxins out of our body. Now, myth number 3 is that detoxing or cleansing requires expensive supplements, and that definitely is not true. You can do a lot with food and get all the nutrients that you need to support your body in the natural detoxification system with that, by cutting out inflammatory foods or toxic foods, and then by eating some of the most powerful naturally detoxifying foods such as grapefruit and beets and dandelion greens. So you actually don't really need to buy expensive supplements in order to support your liver and to push these toxins out. You just need to learn how to eat right. And the last one is that detoxifying and cleansing requires deprivation. I mean, I see this a lot, especially with juice cleanses. Some of the, multi-level marketing campaigns that are out there, like Shakeology or whatever it is that you might have tried, where they say you can only eat this regimen of foods in order to cleanse and detoxify your body. You have to buy these, or you have to do this, or you can only have juices. And it's not true. You don't have to deprive yourself in order to cleanse and detoxify your body. In fact, I do a seasonal cleanse challenge, and people get to eat things like bacon and burgers and all kinds of delicious things. What you just want to focus on is eliminating the foods that are the most toxic. So maybe things that have gluten or dairy or sugar or soy or alcohol in them, which, if you think about it, those are just 4 different types of food groups, and there are hundreds and thousands of different foods for us to eat. So we need to shift the focus simply from not the things that you don't get to eat, but all the things that you do get to eat that are cleansing for your body, that are actually delicious. And I am a foodie at heart, so I am not about deprivation at all. And I love to eat food. It's just about eating the right kind of food so you don't feel deprived, but you can also detoxify your body at the same time. So it is possible to offset a lot of the damage that we're seeing from these exposure to toxins and chemicals, and it's all about doing it right. And if you guys want to learn more about this, I want to invite you to attend a free webinar that I have coming up on Tuesday, October 20th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and that's 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's called the Daily Detox, no juices, gimmicks, or supplements required, where I'm going to dive into even more detail about how you can naturally detoxify your body on a daily basis. We're going to dispel some of these myths and go into detail about them and talk about what you could be doing instead to support your body, knowing that there's all these toxins and chemicals. So go ahead and click on the link below, or go back to the email where you got this video, and you can sign up to register for the webinar. If you can't make it live, that's totally okay. Just go ahead and register, and as long as you're registered, you'll get emailed a replay or a recording afterwards. So I hope you guys found this really helpful. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next Thursday, and hope to see you on the webinar.